How's everybody doing today? This is the Truth Algorithm, episode number 4. Today's February 28th, 2021, and I wanted to do a short little video because I see a lot of propaganda going around about how Trump supporters are radicalized and domestic terrorists and evil and all these other things. So I wanted to do a video because a new poll came out, and what the poll actually shows is that the people that have been radicalized are not Republicans, are not Trump supporters. They're progressives and Democrats because of all the crazy stuff MSM talks about, the mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, always about race, always about hate, always about the worst things, just always making everybody seem like they are evil on the other side. It's always about the other. And if you don't believe in their ideology, you get canceled. That sounds like radicalization to me, but that's just me. So I wanted to start this off with a little video clip, and then we'll get into the poll. I want to warm you up because I want you to listen to Mr. Chris Hayes and how he talks about Republicans. And this is part of the propaganda that's been coming out and them trying to make us to look like domestic terrorists, which we are not. So
exactly it is that Donald Trump Jr. does, but like his father, he does love to make content. This week, he posted a video of himself ranting about teachers' unions while pointedly standing in front of a wall of guns. The whole thing had a here are my thoughts from my bunker vibe. But as weird as this image is, it's kind of becoming a trend on the right.
Watch what he compares it to.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, owner of Shooter's Grill in Rifle, Colorado, where guns are welcome and seemingly encouraged on the premises, has built her political identity around guns. Boebert vowed to carry a Glock around D.C. and on Capitol Hill. She released a video to make sure that we all knew it. Last Thursday, she zoomed into a virtual congressional hearing with just a mess of guns piled on the bookshelf behind her. AR-15 style rifles, a handgun just laying across a bunch of books. Boebert, who is raising 4 young boys, later tweeted that the guns are not in storage but are, quote, ready for use. Apparently, she just leaves them out because she fears she may need to fire multiple rounds of ammo into someone who comes into her den. You know, lots of people immediately noted that the use of guns in that way as props and the implicit threat that comes with them has a, long, not necessarily great history among various movements around the globe.
I hate this guy.
Osama bin Laden, for one, liked to pose in front of a bookshelf with a gun prominently displayed. The Irish Republican Army would display guns in its propaganda posters and its murals. Cuban revolutionaries, they posed with guns all the time, too. And no single side of the spectrum has a monopoly on this aesthetic. I mean, you can see it, all over the world. It is unquestionably the aesthetic of armed struggle, of revolution or insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
A movement or faction that puts images of guns, the celebration of guns, front and center in its political aesthetic is a movement that's engaging in something other than what we might call the normal rhetoric of elected democratic politics. You can't escape the meaning of it. It communicates that they're committed to, or at the very least, open to the possibility of
the Second
violent
Amendment
overthrow of the government or the existing order.
Sure.
And now in the Republican Party, it seems like it's becoming
this is called
common and unremarkable.
They're called.
You'll remember Marjorie Taylor Greene posed with this gun in her campaign ads next to Democratic members of Congress. She wears a mask reading Molon Labe, which is ancient Greek for come and take them in the halls of Congress. And that's been used for a bunch of reasons. But in her case, the implied message seems to be, if you try to take away our guns, we'll start shooting.
I can't listen to this idea anymore, man. This is what people are watching. This is what people are watching. This is their way of trying to make Trump supporters and the others look like militant, evil people. Oh, why? Because they're using their Second Amendment and they have guns that they bought legally. Why don't you talk about the illegal guns and the 25 murders a weekend that happened in Chicago? No, you don't talk about that because that doesn't fit your narrative, and that won't get you any power because that's a Democrat-run city. I'm sick of this propaganda bullshit that you put out in people's brains. It's just getting annoying and it's getting old. I know you get paid very well to do this, but what good are you doing? You're just evil. Anyway, let's get into it. So here, looking at the polls, I am going to start off with what the GOP is most concerned about. Now, the GOP is what he was talking about. These evil people with guns in the background that are like Osama bin Laden and the Cuban warfare, whatever he said. GOP, most concerned about police support and illegal immigration. How concerned are you, if at all, at the following are a problem for the country? Asked of Republicans plus lean voters. Now, red or orange is extremely very concerned. Yellowish is somewhat concerned. Green, not very, not at all concerned. Gray, unsure. Now, illegal immigration, 81%. Lack of support for the police, 79%. High taxes, 77%. Now, this is all extremely very concerned. Now, those top three things, illegal immigration, lack of support for the police, and high taxes, they have nothing to do with revolution, with any of the stupid things that they've been talking about. And they also have nothing to do with Biden supporters or anything with Democrats or anything with that regime. So, now, let's look at the Democrats. And boom, look at this. Now, Trump supporters, racism top Democrat concerns. How concerned are you, if at all, that all the following are a problem for the country? Same thing, Democrat plus lean. All same colors, all the same things. Look at their top three. Donald Trump supporters, 82% are extremely and very concerned with their neighbors, with their fellow Americans. What are you extremely and very concerned about? Do you see what I'm saying here? And then white nationalism, 79%. These people are scared of a boogeyman that doesn't exist. The only white nationalists I've ever seen are on TV, in jail, or in some old movie in the KKK. I've never even met a real one in my life. So I have no idea. It's all about trying to scare people and emotionally manipulate people. All their tactics are fear. That's why when the COVID came out and first started, when they had the kill tracker up, notice you don't see it anymore now that Donald Trump's not in office. They run off of fear and having something to save you from. That's these people's agenda. That's how they keep their power. Their whole plan is to get in power, and then once you're in power, how do I stay in power? Oh, how about I give you a problem where there never can be a solution because that problem may or may not exist. I'm talking more about climate change when I say that. But it used to be, what was it? Climate, whatever it was, where it was going to heat up, but then it changed and it didn't get hot. So, global warming. And then it changed to climate change. Then it changed to we're going to die in 10 years. And 10 years after that, now it's 12. Always got to be a boogeyman. Always have to be something to save you from. That's how they stay in power. And by emotional manipulation and uninformed voters. That's the Democrats' base. Anyway, and systematic racism. That's funny when they say that too, because when they had a lawsuit at Harvard for Asians and white people, I believe, because they had to get higher scores and something else, and they were just for being Asian or white, I think it was more Asian though, weren't allowed in the school because they were Asian, because there was too many of them and they needed more black people and more people of color in there. So they were losing their spots in Harvard, even though they may have got better test scores. Also, Biden dropped that case, so I guess the Asian people and the white people won't get a fair shake. So, guess that doesn't matter. Be less white. Let's talk about affirmative action. That's systematic racism, isn't it? Let's talk about all this stuff. Be less white, Coca-Cola. Is that racism? Now, I know when they're talking about systematic racism, talking about it's in the system. Yeah, it is in the system. You're right. Affirmative action is in the system. All these rules are in the system. It's, there's people are racist. There are some racist people that there always is going to be. But our country, and especially 20 years ago, seemed to be doing okay for some reason. Now, all of a sudden, if you look on the TV, everybody hates each other. That's weird, right? I wonder why. Why do you want us to hate each other? Why do you want us to fight? So we're not looking at you while you're ripping us off and stealing our money and having lobbyists and doing loopholes and spending money over here so it comes back in your pocket, doing people favors, and once you get out of office, you get paid millions for speaking fees. Big tech censorship. Now you want to go after conservative television? Newsmax, Fox News, you don't want to have that anymore? Why? If your policies were good, if you had good talking points, if you had anything good to offer, if you had any proof that you can actually run anything, because all your cities are falling apart, then you wouldn't need to get rid of the oppositions. You could just beat them with better ideas, but your ideas are not, and you know that. You run off of microaggressions. You run off of cancel culture. Me too. Which was good, but then ended up backfiring on you, and we don't hear about it anymore now. Anyway, what else? Domestic terrorism, police brutality, capitalism. Anyway, my point today was just a quick video to show you that the people that are actually filled with hate and vitriol and still are pissed off that people actually voted for Trump, so now they want to do a 9/11 style commission to get back at us, and this is why Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff are starting all this crazy stuff, having these, and then the crazy general I showed you in my last video, is because of their base. Because they radicalized them to hate Trump supporters. 50% of the population. 74 million people that voted. That's evil. It's just irritating. But anyway, that's the video for today. Just wanted to get that out there and maybe get some reality. You know what I mean? In there, some common sense, not this fake, woke, cancel culture, garbage, clown world shit. It's getting old. But anyway, if you liked the video, please share, please subscribe, leave me a comment, smash that like button, and I will talk to you soon.